Hi, I'm Ken Kessler, and welcome to the Sounds of Christmas podcast. If you're new to this podcast, I want to start by saying thanks for joining us. If you're not new to us, welcome back. Either way, I'm glad you're here. Now, to avoid any confusion, I want to say that there won't be any music played here. This is a place for conversation. I'll talk about Christmas music and some related topics, sometimes by myself and sometimes with guests. If you're looking for music, just go to soundsofchristmas.com and click on the tree or the player on the front page or on the Listen Now page. We play the best variety of Christmas music all year long. Well, except in October, when we play the best variety of Halloween music. As we move into August, I thought I'd dedicate a podcast episode to coming attractions. That said, I do want to mention that none of the singles or albums that I'm about to mention are guaranteed to get released. Several have been teased in the past, some more than once, and there are so many things that could happen between the time someone says they're making a Christmas album and the time it's actually released, and many of those things are out of the artist's hands. I've also used a lot of different sources to find this info, including music sites and music blogs, and a few from the artist's own social media accounts. This is by no means a complete list. In fact, I have no doubt that as soon as I finish recording this podcast episode, more announcements will be made. It's also more than likely that I've missed some that have already been announced. I'm not intentionally omitting anybody, and my apologies to anyone whose favorite artist didn't get mentioned. Also like to apologize to any of the singers and bands if I didn't mention you. Here's what's on the Sounds of Christmas radar for this coming season. First up, Michael Sinatra is at work on a new Christmas album, a follow-up to his first, An Old-Fashioned Christmas. Michael appeared on a previous Sounds of Christmas podcast and is due to be back in the next week or so for an update on the new album. Similarly, Suzanne from Suzanne's Band was on a previous podcast episode just this past spring, and she'll be back near the end of August to talk about the progress her band's made on a new Christmas single, a follow-up to One More Night of Christmas. Kristen Chenoweth is working on a new Christmas album. She gave us a lovely way to spend Christmas back in 2008 after she contributed her version of Oh Holy Night to the movie soundtrack for her film Deck the Halls, which also starred Matthew Broderick and Danny DeVito. A few years later, she did a duet with Joshua Bell on that song too for his Christmas album Musical Gifts. And last year, Kristen recorded another duet, this time with Steve Terrell on White Christmas. Rob Thomas has posted on social media that he's working on his first Christmas album. Previously, Rob had released the single A New York Christmas back in 2003, and that was his first solo effort outside of his band Matchbox 20. The next year, he appeared on B.B. Winans' Christmas album My Christmas Prayer with a duet on the title track. And last year, Rob released I Believe in Santa Claus, a single with Abby Anderson. For the last couple years, the Backstreet Boys have been teasing a new Christmas album, and it looks like it will really happen this year, as they've also scheduled a series of Christmas concerts, and they've been posting video and photos from some of the recording sessions. In 1996, they released a single called Christmas Time, and in 2012, they released their only other Christmas single, and that was Christmas Time Again. A few months ago, it was announced that the rock band Whitesnake was working on a Christmas album. Frontman David Coverdale has sought to correct that, saying that while he is working on some festive songs, there won't be a Whitesnake Christmas album. While I'm not aware of any Christmas music associated with Whitesnake, David Coverdale did record a version of The Night Before Christmas, which has appeared on several charity compilations over the years, sometimes attributed just to him, and sometimes attributed to David Coverdale and Whitesnake. Motley Crue's Tommy Lee is also working on some Christmas music. He actually teased this in an interview last fall and then later said he had to move it to Christmas 2021, but there aren't any more details, at least not yet. Debbie Gibson is reportedly working on her first Christmas album. She has a few singles released in the late 80s and early 90s, including Sleigh Ride, Silent Night, and Christmas Without You. You can also catch her singing Christmas songs on videos that she's posted on her YouTube channel. And recently on social media, Tom Ellis, who stars in the Netflix show Lucifer, revealed that she has asked him to sing a song on her upcoming Christmas album. Country singer-songwriter Cody Johnson is also working on his first Christmas album. Not many details yet, and he also has a country album, a double album, due in October, and a documentary due later this month. I'd move this to a rumor if he hadn't confirmed it himself in an interview this past May. Carrie Underwood is re-releasing her Christmas album, My Gift, with a few extra songs, Favorite Time of Year, All Is Well, and Let There Be Peace, Something in the Water, which was performed on her HBO Max special last year. Favorite Time of Year was available exclusively on Amazon last year, and Carrie performed All Is Well as a duet with Michael W. Smith for his album, The Spirit of Christmas, back in 2014. Many artists will be offering up new Christmas music with the help of crowdsourcing, and two that we already know about and are looking forward to hearing are Kimberly Locke and the Puppini Sisters. Kimberly Locke appeared on American Idol, finishing third in 2002. And a few years later, she released her version of Up on the Housetop, following that up in 2007 with a Christmas album that was simply called Christmas. That same year, she performed Please Come Home for Christmas with Dave Koz on his album, Memories of a Winter's Night. She released a single of Silver Bells a few years after that. And in 2017, she released a trio of Christmas singles, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, Oh Holy Night, and The Christmas Waltz. In 2019, she released a single of Mrs. Santa Claus. And last year, she released Christmas Is Here. In addition to this forthcoming album, she's also working on a holiday TV special with details to come. The Puppini Sisters have just completed their crowdsourcing effort and will be releasing a 4-song EP. Their previous Christmas music includes a single of Jingle Bells in 2006 and a Christmas album called Christmas with the Puppini Sisters in 2010. There are also a couple interesting vinyl releases on the way, and no doubt many more to be announced. Two that caught my attention were ones from Tony Bennett and Whitney Houston. Tony Bennett's 1968 album Snowfall will be available this fall on vinyl for the first time since its original release. And Whitney Houston's Christmas album One Wish will be out on vinyl with one bonus track, the 2019 version of Do You Hear What I Hear with Pentatonics. Speaking of Pentatonics, they posted an interesting short video on social media recently about getting into a festive spirit. And there's a lot of speculation that they're working on new Christmas music. And speaking of speculation, there's a lot of that going on over several artists and their potential Christmas releases. Some fans have been saying that Kelly Clarkson is working on Christmas music, and some claim to have seen her band dressed in Christmas garb and decorations up at the studio. There's also a rumor that Shania Twain will have a Christmas album this year. Now, Shania announced she was recording a Christmas album 3 years ago and has recently teased that there would be new music by the end of the year. No other details have been released, so we'll have to wait and see if the new music we get at the end of the year is the Christmas album. Of course, Christmas music rumors are nothing new. 10 years ago, Pat Benatar told Billboard magazine that she was working on a Christmas album, which still hasn't happened, though she did release the single One December Night in 2015. That same year, Meatloaf announced that he had recorded a Christmas album called Hot Holidays, though it's never been released. You can find him singing a couple Christmas songs on YouTube in a performance at a New York radio station. That unreleased Christmas album reportedly features duets with Garth Brooks and Reba McEntire. And lastly, Cher told fans in 2018 that she'd have a Christmas album, quote, next year, end quote. While that hasn't happened yet, she has said there was new music on the way this year. This is by no means a complete rundown of everything that's coming this year, and nowhere near everything rumored to be coming this year, but it should give you a little something to look forward to. On October 1st, the Sounds of Christmas will switch to Halloween music, and we'll load lots of new Christmas music while that's going on, including as much of what I've mentioned in this podcast as I can. And you'll get to hear it all starting on November 1st. Somewhere around that time, we'll also add a new page to our website highlighting dozens of new releases, and that page will get continuously updated throughout the season. Thanks for listening, helping me share some Christmas spirit, and for helping this podcast continue to grow. We're on about 24 different podcasting sites. And since you're listening to this now, you've obviously found us somewhere. But if there's another site you like to use for podcasts, check out our podcast page on our website for the complete list of everywhere you can listen to the Sounds of Christmas podcast. And again, the website is www.soundsofchristmas.com. Then just click on the podcast tab. For the Sounds of Christmas station, to listen to the music, you'll need to stick with our website or our app in the Google Play Store. In the meantime, thanks so much for listening. If you have comments or suggestions, feel free to reach out to me on social media or through our website. Thanks again, and may you always believe in Santa Claus.